Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, the Drafted Up podcast. Today, we're pivoting. We're taking a little detour. We originally were going to hit you up with the running back tight end Couch Scout series, but we're going to bring in our divisional mock drafts. We're going to do the AFC South teams, the NFC South teams, run through them, each team in that division. That's Nick. I'm Theo. This is the Drafted Up podcast. Nick, how you doing today on this flurrying Tuesday afternoon?
I love when the temperature is 66 degrees one day and then the next day it is 25 degrees. I absolutely love this time of year, but we're almost there. Winter is officially almost over. I think Friday is the first day of spring, so we finally made it. Finally made it.
Yeah, in our neck of the woods, we've hit this crazy string of weather. We had a beautiful weekend, and then yesterday we had tornado warnings and crazy wind and rain, and now it's snowing outside. So gotta love that Pennsylvania weather. Housekeeping note, I know we were supposed to put the free agency episode out on Thursday. That episode's in the void. The audio's messed up. The video's messed up. I am not high-tech enough to figure out the editing. I've tried. I've spent hours upon hours to try to line things up. It is just not working. I will continue to try to make it work if I can, but that's why there was no episode on Thursday.
Hey, people know where people went, and we have opinions on it. You can figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. And with the mock draft series, we'll kind of get into like, oh, they brought in these guys, so this move's not a need anymore, stuff like that. But a big move did happen today, this afternoon. Jaylen Waddle traded to the Denver Broncos for a first, third, and a fourth, and then Miami also traded a fourth along with Waddle in that trade. So
so essentially a first and a third.
Yeah, how's that make you feel about Waddle? Fantasy value, real life value for Denver. And then, other pieces there, Cortland Sutton and Miami they got no weapons outside of Achane at this point.
Yeah, Achane's going to be in line for quite the workload, so we'll see how his body upholds. We'll see about that, to be honest. I love the move for Waddle, though. He's getting it out of Miami, who it's a questionable situation. They don't know if Malik Willis is going to work out. It's a new coaching staff. They really don't know. I prefer him with Bo Nix, with Sean Payton, with Cortland Sutton on the other side, and they gave up a lot to get him. So he's going to be used a lot, dude. I would take him personally over Sutton in fantasy football as of right now, especially in Dynasty going long terms. Waddle's value is insane. I love Waddle, so I think the move is huge, and I think it helps Denver a lot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and costing them the 30th pick of the draft in a weaker draft class, I would have easily given that up as well for him. And I agree with you. I think Waddle is a little more valuable in fantasy than Cortland Sutton. And dynasty-wise, I think it does kind of hurt the prospects of like Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin, even Marvin Mims per se. But like I think those guys can almost be non-rostered in dynasty leagues unless you're in a deep league.
Yeah, I would even say RJ Harvey too a little bit because they seem to be with J.K. Dobbins. They were trying to get Ken Walker. They seem to be in the market for an RB. So just the younger talent in Denver just seems to be not as valuable as it was just a year ago in Dynasty. So I don't know. Big shakeups today with the Waddle trade, though. I love it, though. I think it's a huge upgrade for Denver and Waddle himself.
Miami, you got to figure they target a receiver in the draft, but sure. How's this make you feel about Malik Washington? Because at this point, he is the number one receiver in Miami.
He is the one, but with the new coaching staff, it's not the regime that drafted him, so I'm questioning that. But if they don't bring in anyone high in the draft or free agency that's out there still, I think Juwan Jennings is still a free agent. I think there's still a couple guys out there. A.J. Brown's been rumored to a couple teams. Maybe the Dolphins jump in on that. We'll see what happens, though. But as of right now, he's the main receiver, and I think their tight end might still be Darren Waller. As far as I know, I have no idea who their tight end is either. So
no, Greg Dulcich is their starting tight end.
Yeah, sure. So
Darren Waller's a free agent. Yeah, Miami, interesting to see what they'll do, as they also have a ton of needs at like going receiver at 11 might not be a viable option. That's enough of that. That's really the only big piece of news. Let's dive into these mocks because we're going to go team by team, individually do a quick little 3-rounder. So we're going to start off at the top of the draft with the Tennessee Titans. All right. Here we go. Let's share that screen. All right. Oh, God. PFF. The mock draft simulator had Jeremiah Love going to the Jets, which is... I'm almost about to just restart it because there's no way the Jets take Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, but that's your call, brother.
We will attempt to do this one more time. Gotta love live podcasting. Because there's a 0% chance the Jets will draft Jeremiah Love. Let's try this again. Part 2 of the Tennessee Titans mock draft. And I swear if the Jets take Jeremiah Love, I will walk off the podcast.
One could hope.
There we go. Okay. A little more reasonable. Mendoza, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, first 3 picks, as you can see on the board. Jeremiah Love still there. I do believe that is going to be the Tennessee Titans pick come draft day. I think getting Cam Ward and taking the load off him as an offense is the route they're going to go. I personally wouldn't go that route because I don't think Tennessee's in the spot where they can go and take a running back with a top 10 pick. But in this class with weaker prospects at the top, I think you just go the blue chip route and take potentially the number 1 player on your board in Jeremiah Love. How do you feel about that?
I would be cool with the Love pick. I personally wouldn't do it as the Titans organization, but I see a lot of the steam behind it, and they seem to be running back needy, and that's what the team wants right now. Is just a running back that can take the rock off of Cam Ward's shoulders. So, I mean, with the way the draft board fell, dude, to be honest, I get it. Mendoza and then Reese and then Sonny Styles already. I personally would rather go Sonny Styles if he was on the board, but with the way the board fell, I see what happens.
Yeah, so Sonny Styles with Robert Saleh, I think, is a great pair, but Sonny Styles is not here in this situation, so we're going to lock that in. Jeremiah Love with that first pick. Hopefully we get an edge rusher here at the top of the second round. There are Zion Young, more big-bodied edge. Let's see, who do we got here? R. Mason Thomas, smaller, but we've seen Robert Saleh kind of value those smaller edge guys. And like Jermaine Johnson, he was kind of a slender build, and R. Mason Thomas, he is small, but he's got a good first step. I would look at him here potentially, even Malachi Lawrence, but I don't like that. Casey Concepcion is an option as well, but
what about interior offensive line?
I was going to say they kind of have a Concepcion type player in Chimere Dike and Wan'Dale Robinson that I don't think you go the way. Pregnon and Chase Basantes are both here. I think those guys are both real good gets as well.
I would lean offensive line here to open up runways for Jeremiah Love and to protect Cam Ward. I think it's a win-win for both of their high-level draft picks the last 2 years. In order to get those guys like the most out of both of them right away, I would lean offensive line, to be honest. Okay. And I get the whole Robert Saleh defense thing, but you got to protect your assets, dude. And their 2 assets right now are Jeremiah Love, hypothetically, and Cam Ward. Ward.
And they spent money on Wan'Dale that I don't think
a lot of money.
And they drafted Ayu Maynor and Chimere Dike last year. Not that that's preventing me from taking a receiver, but I like Basantes a little more than I like Pregnon, and it seems the NFL does as well. Daniel Jeremiah dropped a mock today, and he had Basantes going in the first. So here at 35, I would lean Basantes if we do go interior.
Hey, yeah, I would be cool with that. I think the NFL is going to lean that way as well, and like you said, he was a first rounder in that mock today. So. And you said it was Daniel Jeremiah, correct?
Yeah.
That's who had that? Yeah, come on. That guy, he has his ear to the NFL. So if he has him going in the first round, he's going to go pretty early, even if it's on the outside of the first. So I dig that pick a lot. I think that helps Cam Ward a lot going forward.
Mm-hmm. We could have got Jennings Dunker here. Great look. I would have loved him at guard. Let's see what the edge board's looking like. Romello Height, like, I love him as a player. Romello Height weighed in like 235, 237. Like, he's not the best, build for that. Like, I just think he's not going to be a top 100 pick. So, like, the edge board has not fallen to my, like, I think
Tennessee's favor.
Ron Crawford's good, but again, a little bit early for my liking. That, like, linebacker.
Did any of the linebackers? Yeah, did any of the linebackers fall?
Josiah Trotter is there, son of Jeremiah Trotter. And
I wouldn't hate that.
I love his ranking is 66, and his average draft position is 66.6. So, and we are pick 66 here with the Tennessee Titans. So, it is kind of lining up. He's a thumper. I also like Anthony.
I would
Hill.
like that pick.
Yeah.
Anthony Hill's a fun little guy.
Yeah. I'm cool with Trotter. I do want to look at the receiver board real quick, see if there's anyone that kind of fell there. Elijah Surratt, Zachariah Branch. You love Zachariah Branch. Ted Hurst also still here. And with that depth at receiver, because Malachi Fields also still on the board, like, hypothetically, if we're doing a fourth rounder, I think we could wait on the receiver and snag a guy at the top of the fourth that I do like going Josiah Trotter, get some defensive help.
I bet you hypothetically, Stewart should go on next to the Raiders. That would have been a really good pick to team him up because Mendoza went one to them. But no, I think we could have got a decent little receiver in the fourth. I agree with the way the receiver board has fallen in Tennessee's favor. I would have went linebacker as well.
Yeah. All right.
Especially with how much money you spent on Wan'Dale, you seem to be really like invested in Wan'Dale as the number one option for Cam Ward, and he's going to be like a really good like PPR wide receiver this season.
Yeah, and it sounded like Calvin Ridley's sticking around. He did take a pay cut to stay with the Titans. So Calvin Ridley with Wan'Dale and the two rookies from last year. So PFF gave us a B. Jeremiah Love, Chase Basantes, Josiah Trotter got us an A-, according to the PFF grading system. Chase Basantes, C-. I don't understand how their grades work. Jeremiah Love, a B, but I like this. I think Tennessee, if you're a Titans fan, I think that's a nice little haul to start off the Robert Salas era. Jeremiah Love, Chase Basantes, Josiah Trotter as your 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, two guys to really help out Cam Ward and the guy that Robert Salas is going to have a lot of fun with on the defense.
All right. Let's move on. We're just going to go divisional order. We're going to start here now with the Indianapolis Colts. They don't have a first-round pick, so we really don't have to worry about Jeremiah Love going to the Jets in this scenario because we won't take
the Colts. The Colts first was traded for Sauce, correct? That was the one they traded?
Yeah, that was the Sauce Gardner trade. So we're looking at picks 47, pick 78.
I think just 2 picks here for the Colts, but man, I'm not a fan of their offseason this far. No. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We talked about that in the free agents episode, but man, I do not like the deal they have for Danny Jones. I do not like the deal for Alec Pierce. I think they overpaid on both of those guys tremendously. There's no way in hell I'd be giving Danny Jones $44 million a year coming off another injury, dude. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah,
not my cup of tea, dog.
The saving grace for that for me is the fact that it's only 2 years. All right, Colts up at 47. Wide receiver is in need, according to PFF. Chris Brazzell, I like him a little bit more than you do, but essentially same kind of style as Alec Pierce, so I don't think we're going to look that way. Same with Bernard and like Skylar Bell and Antonio Williams. They're kind of too similar to Josh Downs.
Yeah. I would say other needs are like safety linebacker for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just off the top of my head.
Let's see. Strong safety.
Give those two guys.
Strong safety class. I like AJ Halsey and I like Kamari Ramsey. Ramsey we might be able to get next round if we want to take that risk, or we just go hot, take AJ Halsey, really good tape from LSU.
I wouldn't mind hoping Ramsey falls. I do like Ramsey a lot, so maybe play the board, and we'll check back in at safety
Jake
next round.
Galday, Mr. Thickneck, still here. The Colts did trade Zaire Franklin, so I think Jake Galday is in play as well. Interior defensive line, Grayson Holt and Dominique Orange, they're guys that we could probably get in the third round if we want to play it like that. Corner's not listed, but Chris Johnson, Keith Abney here, like both really good corners that like I don't hate targeting them here.
Man, I just keep seeing Bernard's name right there, Alabama's wide receiver. I get he's very similar, but I don't see Alec Pierce as a wide receiver one. I think Bernard at the end of the day could be a wide receiver one in the NFL.
At worst, it gives them two high-end wide receiver twos in Bernard and Pierce with Josh Downs as
Pierce
the three.
So much more as a number two, dude. Like, I don't think he's going to eat double coverage. I don't think a team's going to, like, you could just play a high safety and really cut off Alec Pierce's game for the most part. I wouldn't mind Bernard at this point because we could, every position we checked back in on the Colts, we were like, let's just check next round for them. Let's check back next round. Bernard's not going to be there next round or a receiver at that caliber. I'm cool pulling the shot right here with Bernard.
Hey, I'm fine with it because, like you said, like the positions of need, they're guys that like we're okay waiting or letting the board fall that way. But Jeremy Bernard here, get a talented football player, kind of round out the room. Give an all-around guy in Bernard, the deep threat with Pierce, and then an underneath guy in Josh Downs. Get Daniel Jones weapons, and let's not forget they also have Tyler Warren and obviously Jonathan Taylor. But yeah, let's go with Jeremy Bernard.
Every bone in my body wants to call him Giovanni Bernard, bro, and I'm going to struggle with that heavily until the draft season.
Okay, Kamari Ramsey did fall to us.
Love it.
I think that's the route to go. It's a little bit early based off the ranking, but his ADP was 10 spots before this, so it kind of balances out nicely. But Kamari Ramsey, the Colts did Nick Cross left in free agency, he went to Washington, so I think we replace him. Kamari Ramsey, good ball hawk, typical USC receiver. Yeah. They value those guys that can kind of snipe some passes there. So yeah, I'm cool going with Ramsey here. Just round out.
Yeah. I would like that pick a lot. He high points the ball really well for a safety, and that's something USC really like prioritizes for that position. So
Garrett Nussmeier's here though. Yeah, but
I mean, hey man, I was just talking about that Danny Jones deal and how I do not like it.
If I'm Indy 4th round, I'm looking at Cole Payton. I think he's a perfect fit for the Shane Steichen system, and PFF has him ranked 248. I think there's a good chance he ends up going top 100 or just right outside top 100, maybe one of the first 5 picks of day 2 or day 3. But I think he's a name to keep in mind for Indianapolis. But we're going to take Kamari Ramsey here, and then a hypothetical. If we did have a 4th round pick, I would go Cole Payton. That's the pick I'd push there. Get a quarterback who's got a similar skill set as Jalen Hurts. In with Shane Steichen, who coached Hurts, and then Payton needs to sit 2 years behind Daniel Jones. That lines up for him to potentially take that job. So in this hypothetical 4th round, we take Cole Payton with Jeremy Bernard and Kamari Ramsey. We got an A- here for the Colts. PFF thinks we did a great job there with those. They
love
picks.
It. Shout out Colts mock draft, Colts Twitter. They love it. They love seeing it with their absolute no draft capital.
Yeah. And hey, with the 2nd and 3rd, I think walking out with Ramsey and Bernard and hypothetically Cole Payton, I think you could do worse.
100%. As a Colts fan, I would take that, dude, because your draft stock is real low the next couple seasons. So it's like you gave out a lot to get Sauce, and then you're just handing out a lot of big money deals. Man, it'd be really nice to have a rookie quarterback contract on that team, because that's going to get that team far, because they're dishing out a ton of money in a lot of positions. So they better hope this deal works out in the next 2 years for Danny Jones.
All right. We're cruising here. Houston Texans, we're going to jump back into the 1st round. It's good that it kind of alternates for us, that we're not just kind of doing that. So Texans, they picked 28th. Let's see how the board fell to us. Offensive line, interior offensive line would be nice, but it looks like the board. We're looking at Basantes and Pregnon again. I like them where we took them at Tennessee's spot.
I agree.
I
Back
don't
into the
necessarily
first is
love
still
them
a little
here.
rich.
Yeah. Here. So, but the interior defensive line board.
Yep.
Has
I was going to say
nicely
interior defensive line is where I'd be looking.
For the Tech. Caden McDonald, Caleb Banks, and Peter Woods all still available to us. I like Peter Woods, but like, it seems the NFL is just not in on him anymore.
I think Caleb Banks is going to get drafted before Peter Woods.
I don't think Caleb Banks makes it this far. I think there's like a decent shot Minnesota takes him at 18. But yeah, and like Peter Woods, it seems like it's set that he's like a second round guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. His draft stock like plummeted this season.
I still
Can you
like
real
the
quick
player.
check the linebackers?
Yeah, I like the player of Peter Woods, but doing from a realistic standpoint, I just don't think he ends up going. That I would lean Caleb McDonald here. Let me get defensive line off here. Jacob Rodriguez, top linebacker on the board, then Jake Galday, Josiah Trotter. Yeah, love Jacob Rodriguez. Incredible player.
He's fun. He's fun.
I'm glad the NFL seems to be like coming around to him, because before it's like, oh, he's not even a top 100 guy, and I'm like, there's no way he falls past day 3. Do we take the traits guy in Banks?
Are you in on McDonald because you think Caleb Banks is going to be gone, or what's your hypothetical here?
I don't think Banks would be here. I am in on McDonald. I think Caden McDonald.
Now, would you take McDonald over Banks?
I
would not. I would take Banks over McDonald.
I would, but I think with a coach like D'Amico Ryans, I would be more comfortable with Caleb Banks. I think getting a strong defensive mind coach to kind of be the tutor for him is a real strong point. That's why I brought up Minnesota. I think Brian Flores would just, let this guy
eat
loose.
It up.
Yeah. So
sure.
with like, if we had an offensive minded coach, I would try to push for McDonald, but with D'Amico Ryans, I think he would kind of take the raw potential of Caleb Banks and go that way. And since he's here, I think that's how we go.
I would second that. And having D'Amico Ryans, that's why I would warrant that pick over Peter Woods as well. Like, you have the coach that could easily light that fire under Caleb Banks' butt and really just get it going. But look at that guy sitting right at the top of the board. That interior offensive lineman, baby.
Yeah, we took the risk and went and moved past interior offensive line, and Emmanuel Pregnon fell into our laps. I think that is the no-brainer pick here for the Texans.
Yeah, I would totally agree. You got to protect CJ Stroud. You got to get David Montgomery running full steam. And the Texans are out here. They've just been trading their offensive linemen in free agency. They've lost 2 or 3 offensive linemen on an O-line that you could not afford to lose guys. So you got to get some type of protection for CJ Stroud, dude.
Okay, we have a second and a third. Oh, we
got 2 more picks here.
Okay.
Could you real quick just check out the linebackers, see if any of them fell? Because I know that is one of the needs.
Josiah Trotter's here. I like Kyle Lewis, but like, he's small, and like, I think he's just going to be like this weird hybrid player. Nickel. I think he's going to be like a safety.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe
he's going to be very Isaiah Simmons like.
Yeah,
Isaiah Simmons. Yeah, that was.
And like nickel, the Texans have Jalen Petrie, and he kind of plays their little everything role. So I don't think they would look at Kyle Lewis. Now, Anthony Hill Jr., really athletic, really young. I think he makes it to 69 to us, and we just continue to try to play the board.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I would play the board on linebacker. Did any of the tight ends fall?
Let's see. Tight end is at
I'm
top.
always looking to upgrade on Dalton Schultz, dude.
Max Clare.
You know that.
I do like Max Clare. It kind of reminds me
Max Clare.
of Dalton Schultz. Not Dalton Schultz. Dallas Goedert. That similar frame, bigger body guy. So I don't hate going Claire here.
It might be a little early.
I think Claire also falls to us at 69.
I would be cool kicking linebacker and tight end and just hoping one of those 2 guys fall to us at the next pick.
Do we just want to take another guard and take Jennings Dunker, who could be a swing tackle?
I would like to go another offensive lineman if we're kicking both of those positions. Again, like I said, they've already lost 2 or 3 of their offensive linemen from last season, and they haven't upgraded anywhere. So going back-to-back offensive linemen would not shock me here.
If Connor Lew wasn't coming off the ACL injury, I think he'd be a no-brainer pick here. But I think we go Jennings Dunker. He can play tackle in a pinch, but I think he's going to slide into a guard spot in the NFL. But if need be, we could kick him outside if, injuries, whatnot. So let's just get some versatility here. He could kind of be their Titus Howard, who they got rid of.
Yeah.
All right. Did Max Clare and one of these linebackers fall to us?
I believe so.
Max Clare is there. And so is Anthony Hill Jr. We're all about disrespecting Dalton Schultz on the podcast, so
a tradition we will never kick.
Yeah, so let's take Max Clare. It's on point to the bit.
I like it because again they renewed Dalton Schultz's contract, his 1 year, $12 million contract they gave him this season. I don't think he's there come next season. I think they're going to either move on through the draft or find someone in free agency next season. And this just gives them a fallback plan if they don't want to fully commit to Dalton Schultz after the season. And to be honest, you need to get CJ Stroud weapons. You need to get him protection. You need to get him weapons. They got David Montgomery. You still have Nico. You still have Higgins and the other Noel, the kid they drafted. Tank Dell's obviously full-blown question marks. We'll see whatever happens with Tank Dell. So I love bringing in another body for CJ Stroud.
All right. PFF gave us an overall grade of a B. We had Caleb Banks in the first, defensive interior lineman, Emmanuel Pregnon, guard in the second. And then also in the second, we took Jennings Dunker, who's also going to be playing guard for us, but we like his ability to potentially play tackle in a pinch. And then Max Clare to round out that at the very nice spot of 69. Nice little draft for the Texans there.
Oh, yeah. Our tight end pick really bringing us down, but that's all right. The disrespect to Dalton Schultz will never stop.
Yeah. PFF also said we should have taken Jadarian Price over Jennings Dunker. We'll get into Price on Thursday as we push the Couch Scout episode to Thursday, but I don't see the need of taking a running back high for Houston when they traded for David Montgomery and also still have Woody Marks.
I agree. I think they traded up to get Woody Marks last year, and it's still the same regime with Woody Marks. They gave up like a third or fourth to move up to get Woody Marks. So Woody Marks and David Montgomery, in my eyes, is a really good backfield for CJ Stroud. So I am in on that backfield.
All right, let's finish out the AFC South with the Jacksonville Jaguars, the division leaders, division winners. No first-round pick. We traded that for Travis Hunter.
I think they also have 4 picks, though, in our mock
Yeah, they
here.
do. So Jacksonville, it has worked out for them. They do have 4 top 100 picks. So PFF says their needs are tight end, defensive line, and linebacker. So Malachi Lawrence is here, had a nice little combine. I do like him. Jake Galday seems to be a name we're bringing up a lot here, as a lot of these teams have had need at linebacker.
I would say also interior offensive lineman is a little bit of a need as well. I'm not saying here or anything, but I'm saying throughout the 4 picks hit offensive line. I
do like Kalen Rutledge, but at 56, do you think running back's in play here? Or do you think they're going to be comfortable with Tootin and Chris Rodriguez?
Oh, man. The problem here is we have pick, 61?
It's the running back class.
That's exactly. We have
81,
other
88,
picks.
and 100. I think we target running back with one of those third-round picks.
One of those picks, yeah, because after Jeremiah Love, it's honestly a toss-up to who RB2 is. Like, not everyone's going to have the same RB2. I know when we do our running backs, we're going to have very similar lists, but that's not a consensus list. And I think that's just like we really like this guy's tape, and that's why we have our guys the way they do. So I'm cool kicking running back and trying to hit one of our other needs, like defensive line or...
Tight end's a strange need cap. Like I'm comfortable with Brenton Strange as my starting tight end.
I agree. I don't think it's a huge need. I think interior offensive lineman and I think running back is way more of a need for Jacksonville than tight end.
Yeah. Corner we're kind of set on with Travis Hunter moving inside. I do want to look at the interior defensive line. Grayson Holton's fun. He's a little undersized, but he's a burst of energy over there at Oklahoma. But the Jags are kind of old at defensive tackle, so I don't mind taking the shot on him. Or if we want to go
I wouldn't hate it.
Go big, take big citrus, Dominic Orange, 6'4", 325. So it's really depending on what kind of tackle you're looking for there. I think Holton probably falls just because of height. I think Orange ends up going before him, but I like Holton a little bit more as a player than I do Dominic Orange.
I think Holton is going to fall a little bit more, but I think he's more of a Jacksonville defensive lineman, though. He's more traitsy. He's not like that. That's what the Jaguars have looked for consistently in the draft. It's just guys that are traitsy that can be developed and that aren't really for sure prospects per se. But
so we want to go Holton.
I wouldn't hate Holton here. It's just a little bit early in my eyes, but at this point, the Jags have 4 picks, so I get it.
All right, we went Grayson Holton with pick 56 or whatever it was. Interior line, you did bring them up as an option. Connor Lew is here, so is Sam Heck, the 2 center prospects. So I do like looking at those guys here. I think both. This is kind of the range where I start thinking they're really good values. You also brought up, what other position did you bring up for them? Running back.
Running back, linebacker, interior, offensive lineman.
Yeah. Jonah Coleman. I think I would go one of the centers over Coleman. So it's really, do we want the center coming off the ACL injury or the center who's had a really good draft prospect? I think Lou is the better player, but I get going Sam Heck because of the injury to Connor Lew.
Yeah, I think the Texans would lean more offensive lineman who's ready to go as soon as possible.
Jaguars.
That's what I meant, Jaguars. I was still looking at the Texans on our sheet here. I think the Jags. Man, but he's such a better prospect. That's a tough one. I'll go wherever you lean. I'm cool either way, though, for sure.
I'm just gonna go and take the better player. I'm gonna go with Connor Lew.
I dig that a lot.
Yeah, and we're up again at 88. Did any of the running backs fall? Did Jonah Coleman fall here? Because Jonah Coleman is a good pair with 2. Jonah Coleman, he's built like a bowling ball. We'll get him on Thursday, but he's like 5'9", 230. He's thick with 2 C's. But let's see what the linebacker room looks like before we jump to running back here. Yeah, I don't really love any of these guys at 88. Torian York's undersized. I do like Elam's heir, but not in the 3rd. So in this situation, I would tend to lead with Jonah Coleman.
I think there's going to be 2 or 3 running backs picked in the top 100 with Jeremiah Love being one of them. Coleman's going to be one of them. I think Coleman goes in the top 100, so that makes sense to me.
All right, let's lock it in. Jonah Coleman. Oh my God, we have another pick.
We have pick 100, yeah.
We have the final pick. Pick 100. You think there's a chance they address receiver? Like the Brian Thomas rumors are still out there. I don't think they deal him.
I agree. I don't think he gets dealt.
Parker Washington, I think they like him. Jacoby Myers, they locked up. I don't know if receivers necessarily like Ted Hurst. I love Ted Hurst. Drew Aller as a top 100 guy is a wild thing in my eyes. Do we want to get a tight end to be just sit behind, with Brenton Strange? I like Justin Jolly.
I was just about to say Justin Jolly's a guy that I like a lot.
He reminds me of Jonnu Smith.
Ooh, that's a decent little comparison. I like that. And that's a different kind of tight end than Brenton Strange. Brenton Strange is a bigger body who can just eat up middle of the field catches, where Justin Jolly can move around a little bit more. And I think that'd be a decent little tight end room.
Yeah.
I'd be cool with that.
Let's go with it. Justin Jolly, NC State. I actually think it's Jolie, but Justin Jolly, much cooler
It is.
name.
It
Big,
is Jolly.
Big
There's not
Christmas.
two else. I like Jolly.
All right.
That's what I called
PFF
him out through. I called him that the whole fucking scouting process. I'm like, Jolly.
Yeah. PFF did not like the draft. Grayson Holton, Connor Liu, Jonah Coleman, Justin Jolly.
We went early on a couple of guys,
yeah.
and I'm still cool on that. I think Justin Jolly is going to be a near top 100 pick, right on the outside probably. They have him ranked at like 130. I think he goes before that. I get we've reached, but the Jags don't have real early picks. They have just roster. Middle. They do have a decent, for sure. They have a decent little roster, and Liam Cohen was a better coach than I'll happily admit. I'm not thrilled about it, but they have the grounds to reach because they're not picking early. They're just picking middle of the pack. So if they feel a guy's going to be there at 81 or 56, and he's not going to be there at 81, that's a far way to wait. So, and then at 81, 88, and 100, you could go any guys at those 3 picks. They're 20 picks apart. So
absolutely agree.
I get it.
You get to those points where you kind of stretch board. It's similar to like fantasy drafts where we tell you like watch the board. Like you might like this guy more, but it's ADP says it's 10 picks too early, but he's not going to make it back to you. So you look at it that way. But yeah, Grayson Holt, defensive tackle, Connor Liu, center, Jonah Coleman, running back, and Justin Jolly, tight end, to round out the NFC South. Before we jump to the NFC, let's shout out our affiliates over at W Energy and Finley Hats. W Energy, it's good, clean energy, no artificial dyes, no sweeteners, none of that stuff. Jitterless energy. You won't have that crash that you get with your big name, but from Big Energy. Not at W. They got new flavors, retro sherbet. They're releasing new flavors later this month as well, so we'll be plucking them here. I can't wait to see what those are. Ton of stuff. They also have merch, if that's your thing, shaker cups, t-shirts, all that good jazz. So check them out over at w.gg or download the app at your Google Play Store, your Apple App Store. That's WDUBBY. Use the code DRAFTEDUP and get 10% off your purchase anytime, anywhere. W Energy, be better, eat that dub. And then Finley Hats, their hats are built for good times and long times. If your hat is damaged or destroyed, they'll replace it or repair it free of charge. They have free shipping across the United States, so check them out. They do weekly drops every Friday. A ton of cool little hats, designs. You see them here for you video watchers. I usually have one on. They got the strings. You could change them out. They got the pins. You could change them out. They got the pockets on the inside as well. You don't want to carry your wallet. You can throw a 20 in there, and that's your cash for the day. So check them out over at Finley Hats. There's a link in the description. Click it. You'll get 15% off your first purchase. Join the force over at Finley. All right, let's get back to it. The NFC South, as we mix this up a little bit. So we'll go division order just like we did with the AFC. So we're going to start off with the New Orleans Saints here at pick 8. Let's start this bad boy up. Oh, Ruben Bain. Dylan Thieneman went 7. What is going on?
What a muck.
Over Caleb Downs. What a world. PFF is on one. Jeremiah Love to the Browns at 6. Okay. Hoo-wee. I'm glad we weren't doing a Commanders mock because I would have restarted like we did with the Jets, with the Titans when the Jets took Jeremiah Love. Because the Browns ain't taking a running back at 6. But we're the New Orleans Saints here, picking at 8. The wide receiver board has fallen nicely to us. They're all there. Tate, Lemon, and Tyson. It would be nice to get a secondary option in here with Chris Olave, who was incredible this year, but you do have to have in the back of your head the worrisome concussion issues that he has sustained here early in his career. Caleb Downs also on the board. You could just look going BPA. But
what's
and then just try to get a receiver in the second.
Ruben
edge
Bain,
players.
Ruben Bain went. They all went.
Bain went too. Bailey, Reese, they're all gone. Sonny Styles. I think it's more likely we look edge in the second round.
I agree. I think we look at either one of the Ohio State guys. I'm going Downs or Tate. I would personally lean Tate. I think it hits more of a little bit of a need.
I agree. I think you could draft for need here, and Tate with Olave really fill in nicely with Kellen Moore's system, and it Just like we did with Cam Ward in Tennessee.
Exactly.
We're building weapons for our potential franchise quarterback in Tyler Shuck.
Exactly. If we want to give Tyler Shuck the best opportunity to succeed, we got to get weapons. We got to get an offensive lineman. That's what a team has to do with young quarterbacks. So I think Tate is the right move.
Yeah, and we saw the Saints do that in free agency. They got Travis Etienne, the running back from the Jaguars. Etienne, for those who haven't seen the whole thing, that he actually said we've been saying his name wrong for 4 years. But so they know Jeremiah Love's not falling to them. They went out, signed, I'm still calling him Etienne. They signed him, and now we have, the tight end, Johnson, first name slip in my mind. Juwan. Yep. And now get Carnell Tate with Chris Olave, Juwan Johnson, Travis Etienne. You got a nice looking offense. You signed a guard, so the offensive line looks to be intact. I think that's a good start here for New Orleans in free agency.
If we would have passed up anybody else that wasn't like Caleb Downs, I would be like, damn, we could have just picked them and got Chris Bell here in the second. I would have been really cool with Chris Bell.
Even Jeremy Bernard.
But I think passing on... Bernard's really good, but I think Chris Bell has like the high level ceiling that you're cool taking.
Mm-hmm.
But getting Tate in the first is such a luxury, dude. That's so nice for Tyler Shuck going forward. But Chris Bell here in the second would have been cool if you wanted to go somewhere else with like Downs. But if it was like we passed on Sonny Styles, I would have been a little bit more upset. Or if we passed on Jeremiah Love, I would have been like, well, we picked someone else over them and then got Chris Bell in the second. I'd have been cool with that. But where are we leaning here? Interior defensive line? Cornerback, maybe?
Corner isn't listed. I don't know why, because they lost
Corner is a
Taylor,
need, dude.
And then the year before, Paulson Adebo went and signed with the Giants. And I looked at their corners. Kool-Aid McKinstry's fine. And then it's Isaac Yiadom is the other outside guy. And Chris Johnson's sitting here, and anyone who's been listening since, we started talking college this year has known my love for Chris Johnson. And I'm pounding the table for him here at 42.
Hey, dude, you love Chris Johnson. I do like Chris Johnson, not as much as you, and I think corner is a legitimate need for the Saints. So you don't gotta talk me into that.
All right, let's lock it in.
And that's like
Johnson.
The range he's gonna go to. It's not like too early. It's not too late. I think that's around where Chris Johnson's gonna go. It's gonna be pretty early in the second round.
Yeah, and edge. LT Overin is that bigger edge, like the Cam Jordan edge that they look at, 6'5", 278, that he can kind of kick inside. So
can you also throw interior in there? Because they could use interior.
Yeah, that's a reach for me here with LT Overton. Grayson Holton, we've brought him up.
We talked about him.
He's kind of the same as Brian Brzee, though. We already have that.
Mm-hmm.
So we could go more athletic. Daryl Jackson, 6'5", 337, big body. I think the NFL's going to love him. I don't necessarily love his tape, but I think the NFL's going to look at him as like this traits guy, and they're going to be like, yeah, we can work with him.
We can mold that for sure.
I think that's where I'd lean if we would. I like him more than the edge guys on the board currently.
Yeah, I think he's got a higher ceiling per se than the edge guys on the board still. Yeah, we already picked Holton, so I'm cool kicking it to Jackson.
Yeah. I was just seeing if there was any glaring player. Anthony Hill Jr.'s here. We've brought him up a couple times. They did lose Demario Davis
To the Jets, going back home.
So, once you knew the Jets were an option, it was a no-brainer. Said no one ever. So we could look at him, even Kyle Lewis. Maybe they figure something out there for him, but I still think I would lean Daryl Jackson over those two guys.
I think interior line or even just defensive line in general is more of a need for the Saints right now than linebacker. You can get a linebacker in the fourth or fifth, and just hope they just are able to spot play.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Now has to just simulate the rest of the draft. As we finished up
I think we went the right direction, though, with just you got to develop Tyler Shuck. He should be priority one for the coaching staff and the organization. any young quarterback, if you want him to have the best opportunity to succeed, I can talk about it all day, every day, because that's what you got to do. You can't just send these kids out there with absolutely nothing and expect them to produce like they did in college. When they're in college, they're playing kids that aren't the NFL level talent. They're also given a ton of weapons and a coaching staff that is fully dedicated to develop every like the best choice possible for these guys. So the NFL needs to like start doing that. You got to start giving these young kids the best chance to do it.
Exactly. Look at like Sam Darnold is the most recent example of all this. Like
100%.
The Jets did not give him the opportunity to succeed, and then he had to sit, and then he ended up going to Minnesota, won 14 games, then goes to Seattle, wins the Super Bowl. You make it as easy as possible to help these guys succeed and not expect them to be the only piece to do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's why Buffalo hasn't won a Super Bowl, is they're just like Josh Allen can do it on his own.
Exactly.
But yeah, for the Saints, Carnell Tate in the first, Chris Johnson in the second, Daryl Jackson, defensive tackle, Chris Johnson's corner, from Florida State in the third, B+, according to PFF. So a nice little draft there for the Saints. I don't hate it. Carnell Tate, Chris Johnson. That's a nice 1-2 punch there. And then we took a Tracy guy, tried to develop a potential athlete there at tackle, defensive tackle. Next up, Atlanta. We don't have a first, so we'll see how things fall to us here for the Falcons.
Their first pick is what, 46 or something like that? 48.
48. So we only got 2 picks here, 48, 79.
And that's because of the James Pierce trade last year?
Yep. Yeah, they traded the first this year to get James Pierce, who he is still getting charged. I think I said it on the free agent episode, which is a loss, so I don't need to bring it up. I brought up that some charges were dropped, but he still is facing some criminal charges. So edge may still be a need for the Atlanta Falcons, like it is every year. Is there a chance we look at Ty Simpson here? He is here. I don't think he will be here in a real life situation at 48, but he's here in this case. I don't know if Stefanski would try to bring in another quarterback. Plus, he's not left-handed.
Yeah, no, I think PFF has their needs pretty spot on. I would say their big ones are wide receiver, linebacker, corner, and then defensive line, interior, more so than edge. But who knows what's going on with Pierce? So, looking at the receiver room, you got what? You got Bernard, you got Lance, you got Brazell, you got Sky Bell. Antonio Williams. Don't hate. Okay.
A lot of receivers still on the board.
The
interior defensive line board has not fallen nicely, so I think they're kind of out of play. Let's see what the corner room looks like matched up with the receiving. I like Keith Abney. It really depends on, do you think he's primarily a nickel? I think he can play a little bit outside. Keontae Scott to me is primarily a nickel corner, but dude's a gamer. He
plays hard.
Miami. Yeah,
he plays hard for sure.
I also like Treydon Stukes, the corner from Miami. So less corners available. Like I don't love Davison, Igbinosun, but the receiving board is very deep. I like Jalen Everett a little bit more than PFF does.
And Malachi Fields is also down there, who I like significantly more than that. I would find waiting on receiver if we want to touch like linebacker, defensive line, corner. The interior defensive line did not fall to my liking at all. So I would always kick the interior defensive line off the board and kick receiver to the next pick. So I'm cool with corner, or if you want a quick check linebacker to see who's there.
Should we finally pick Jake Golday?
It's the same guys every time, by the way. I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, me neither. I love Jake Golday, but him and Anthony Hill, we keep bringing him up because everyone needs a linebacker, and we just
everyone
never take
needs a linebacker, baby.
I kind of like the corner room though. Like,
I would lean corner if we're gonna pull the strings here. We're gonna be picking a little bit early per se on one of these guys, most likely. But
I like Abney.
I think the top 3 guys could go in this range right here. I really do.
I think Abney gives you more outside potential than Stukes and Scott.
Scott,
I think
for sure.
They're both more kind of. Treydon Stukes is big. Maybe am I thinking the other Arizona corner?
No, he played a lot of slot snaps. He played a lot of slot. Yeah,
that's the biggest slot corner. 6'2", 200, big body. But I think it'll be Abney. I think the mix of he didn't play slot in college, but he's got the more,
He's got a more
typical
traditional slot body.
slender
Yeah.
frame, at 190. But we'll pair Keith Abney with AJ Terrell here in Atlanta, and then one of those receivers has to have fallen to us at 79. This could be the first time. This could be the first time the board hasn't fallen. It has. It's two big-bodied receivers that Atlanta kind of has
London.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have that kind of situation covered, and I love Brennan Thompson. Not at 79. Who, daddy?
I think the receiver room got us, dude. So I think we got to pivot to interior defensive line. Oh man, there's no way they replace Algier this early. You think?
No. I think this is Bijan's team.
You hope so.
Yeah, new coaching staff. I don't think they really look that way. The interior defensive line board's the same as it's been.
It's the exact same every time.
I just oh man, this is not ideal.
Yeah,
for Atlanta.
Atlanta's in a rough spot. I think I ran a couple mocks with each of the teams today, and just I don't know, man. It's not falling well for Atlanta.
No, even the linebacker board.
The linebackers are rough. I'm 100% cool going Malachi Fields or Ted Hurst. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I like both of those guys.
I think you just take the best. So Fields is a bit more of a field stretcher, pun intended.
I would take Fields over Ted Hurst.
I like Hurst more, but I think Fields fits what they need opposite Drake London. So that's where we're going. This one was tough. Atlanta.
Here's just a little preview. PFF is going to hate this mock draft.
Yeah. We both think Malachi Fields is a top 100 lock. PFF a little bit lower on him. I think there's a good chance he's picked in the top 64. I think he'll be a second round pick.
I agree. I think Fields goes way earlier than that pick we just made there. I think the NFL is going to really like him.
Oh, PFF loved the Keith Abney pick. A-, C+ for Malachi Fields. B overall. I'll take it, considering that was a struggle of a draft.
Yeah, I did not think we were going to be getting a good pick there with corner, because they have corner as their fourth or fifth need. So pretty shocking.
So there you go. Atlanta, we went with Keith Abney, the corner from Arizona State, and then Malachi Fields, the wide receiver from Notre Dame. And that puts us up now with Tampa Bay. We're sitting right pretty much in the middle, 15. Let's see how the board. Yeah, 15, 46, and 77. Kenyon Sadiq, we're going to talk more about him Thursday. I do think this is kind of range he starts, but there's no way I could turn down Vega Ione here at 15.
For a team that needs interior line, I 100% agree. You got to get Baker the protection. I love
Jermon McCoy, and I would push for him too, but there's injury history. You're coming off an ACL. We haven't seen him do anything here in the process. He didn't even play last year. So I don't even know if Vega Ione is going to be here at 15 when Tampa drafts in April. But he is here now. I think that's the pick you go with. Just take, Todd McShay has him in his top 10.
He's been skyrocketing the last month, dude. He's going to go early, and I think he's here at 15. I don't think the Bucs are going to let him fall past that, to be honest. They need the interior help, bro.
I think Steve Mensch, ESPN, also on the McShay show, I think he has him at 4th overall on his big board. It's crazy the hype that Vega Ione is getting. So we're going to run that card in here for the Bucs. Vega Ione, the guard from Penn State, at 15, putting us at 46. If we want to go receiver, Chris Bell's here, but edge board's nice. R. Mason Thomas, Gabe Yakis, Malachi Lawrence.
What about tight end from Vanderbilt?
Yeah, Eli Stowers. Yeah, the NFL's going to love him. Super athletic. I don't love taking him in the second round, but in a weaker class, I get it. He also tested really well, and he is the perfect counterpart to Cade Otton.
I think that's a good fit. I do like that fit. I mean, I'm not going to jump the gun here without looking at the edge board real quick, because they do need edge help real bad. But man, I like the Strauss pick. Yeah, I don't hate that.
Yeah, edge board, like I feel we do this, we push edge off, and then we get to the third round, we're like, how we hate all these edge players. But yeah, let's take Eli Stowers. Like I said, he is a perfect counterpart to Cade Otton, different players. Let's get more weapons. We lost Mike Evans in Tampa as he moved on to San Francisco. So let's see, did the edge board actually fall to us? No, it's the same guys.
No, it's the same guys.
It's the same guys.
It's us opening the refrigerator every 30 minutes, hoping it's different food, and it's still the same edge guys every single time.
Still, yeah. So
I'm going to say the same thing I've said every other time, too. What's the linebacker room look like? Wow, Anthony Hill.
I think this is the time we take Anthony Hill.
I actually like that. I think that's
David's
a good fit with David. Yeah.
Yep. Get them a real athletic linebacker piece to kind of maybe sit a year behind David if he doesn't retire. So let's finally get him off the board. Anthony Hill Jr. to the Bucs there to round out their 3 rounds. One day we will pick an edge player in the second round. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. A fooled man can't get fooled again.
They got a saying down here in Tennessee. I know we're in Texas, but
what a great quote. Just solid B's across the board.
That's
there.
A good draft. I like that.
B+ for Vega Yone, the guard in the first round from Penn State. Eli Stowers, tight end from Vanderbilt in the second, and Anthony Hill Jr. We finally picked him, linebacker from Texas in the third. Just B+, B- B rounds out to a simple B draft. And now finally the division winner, Carolina Panthers.
That still sounds so weird, dude. No offense to Carolina, but man, that sounds funny.
Carolina's had a nice free agency. They brought in Jalen Phillips. They needed edge help. They brought in former Jags linebacker Devin Lloyd. They just signed Rashad Walker, which makes sense with Ike Ekwonu probably missing the year, so he's going to be their left tackle this season. So Carolina's had a really good offseason, and it kind of opens things up that we can have a little bit free range with these 3 picks.
Yeah, I would say, I know they don't have linebacker or safety as needs, but I would still say Lloyd's is really their only linebacker I would trust.
Mm-hmm.
Interior offensive line, I think you could also touch on, and that's
Spencer
not one of their
Fano
needs.
fell.
Yeah, I'm looking at Fano right there,
tackle. Dude. There's been a lot of hype as him as a tackle. The Panthers did lose their tackle and their center. There's been a lot of hype about Fanu moving to center. There we go.
Did Lemon fall? Was he picked? I see Tyson's there. If Lemon's there, no,
just Tyson.
Damn. I really don't know if they would team Jordan Tyson and
the mock draft simulator is on one. Kenyon Sadiq to the Lions.
The Lions. That's a very, very weird pick.
The Cowboys taking a tackle at 12 and for Monroe Freeling. Dylan Thieneman again, top 10.
I mean, the more I'm sitting on a Jordan Tyson, Tedero McMillan receiver room for Bryce Young.
Yeah,
I don't hate it.
With, we also have Jalen Coker and Xavier Legette. That's a deep room. They did sign a receiver, though.
But hear me out. Like, good teams make smart picks. Is it really smart passing up on Fanu for a quote-for-quote injury-prone receiver? I get medicals are going to be either teams are going to have him on a do-not-draft board or they're going to be fully in on Jordan Tyson because if his medicals are fine for that team, he's going to be drafted very, very early.
Yeah, with Ekwonu hurt, and if you think Fanu can play tackle, that gives you the option. But also the fact that there's been a lot of buzz about him being a center. He's also got the athletic ability to play guard. I think you just take that and he's going to be one of your 5 best linemen. It was John Mechie. John Mechie's who the Panthers signed. So
I would
actually
lean
like their receiver.
Fanu over Jordan Tyson.
Yeah,
in this predicament for sure.
I agree. So let's go Spencer Fanu to the Panthers. Gives us he's going to play one of our 5 offensive lineman spots. Second round here, Eli Stowers. We can bring him back up. Jatavian Sanders is the tight end there. I was kind of hoping Sadiq was going to be there with that first pick, which we did in our first joint mock. So maybe it was nice we kind of got to shy away from that. AJ Halsey's here. I do like him as safety. We brought him up earlier.
I was going to say, I think the Panthers are in need of safety help. I'm not going to not gonna lie, it's not listed as a team need, but I think safety's pretty high up on a team need. Interior line's good because we want Fanu. He's going to be out there in one of those 5 spots.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't hate hitting defensive line. I wouldn't hate tight end room. I wouldn't hate secondary. One of those 3 positions is probably where I would be leaning.
Yeah, another corner outside J.C. Horn would be nice. They do need like Nick Scott and Trevor Mooring's good safety, but Nick Scott's not enough to keep me from not addressing safety. Same corners that we've talked about: Keith Abney, Keontae Scott, Treydon Stukes here. I kind of like going AJ Halsey here.
Ooh, AJ Halsey here is not a pick I don't hate. Yeah, I like that. I'm cool with that, because if we pick safety, there's not going to be one there at 83 that we're cool with.
No, and sure, we can pick Chris Brazzell, but
I think there's a chance Lance is there at 83, and there's going to be a bunch of other receivers if we really want to go receiver. But again, I'm cool with just passing receiver. Their receiving room's fine in my eyes. It's not a necessity.
I absolutely agree. So let's go AJ Halsey there, and then round this out.
Now, as I say that, Burks is at the top, and I do like Deion Burks, baby.
You do like Deion Burks way more than I do. I like Devin Moore, the corner from Florida. Mm-hmm. He's big, 6'3", almost 200 pounds. You're getting pretty much an outside guy. Yeah. It would be a nice pairing with J.C. Horn. So would Dalen Everett. So I don't mind going either of those corners. Running back's not even in thought here for the Panther. Defensive interior, not really. So yeah, I think I would lean Devin Moore or Dalen Everett, but you could, if you're Carolina, you've given up on Xavier Legette, Deion Burks could come in and fill that gadget role player for your offense.
I think he fits a gadget role more better than Legette. And I get Legette, he was a little bit of that kind of guy in college at South Carolina, but Burks, I think, is a more NFL, skilled around kind of guy. He's going to move around. He's quick. He's really quick. Out in open spot, he's really good at separating. He adds something to the receiver room that's not quite there, but I think secondary's a little bit more of a need if you want to go corner here. I'd be cool with that.
Okay. Yeah, I think Dalen Everett probably ends up going before Devin Moore. So Everett had a really good combine, looked really well in the drill. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to go with Dalen Everett, the corner there from
Georgia.
Thank you. There we go. Carolina in the books there. I did consider going Burks. I do agree with you that he kind of gives them something different. Yeah,
he's just different than they don't have. They don't have a Deion Burks. Theoretically, no one has a Deion Burks.
Yeah, Oklahoma had a Deion Burks.
They
barely used him.
They didn't use him. Not enough. I can tell you that much. I would be using that guy way more, bro. But hey, if you want to hear more thoughts on
Deion
Burks,
check out the Couch Scout wide receiver episode that was posted on Tuesday. You can hear our more in-depth thoughts on those guys. But for Carolina, we want Spencer Fanu. He's going to play one of our 5 spots on the line in the first. AJ Halsey, the safety from LSU, in the second, and then Dalen Everett, the corner, in the third. PFF did not love this draft. Oh, B+, even though they gave us a C+ and a C.
Hey,
I don't
love that Fanu pick, baby.
They did. They're reasonable. It was a nice little pick there. Spencer Fanu to Carolina. There we go. Mock drafts are in the book. We just ran through 8 3-round mock drafts, so you can look forward to these. We'll probably now switch these to our Tuesday show because don't really want to do 2 back-to-back Couch Scout episodes, one on Thursday and then another on Tuesdays. They're a little tedious, but we are going to change up how we run those a little bit. So, anything else before we head on out of here?
No, I don't think so, man. This is a fun little exercise. I dig running through the 18 3-rounders. We get to talk about a lot of different guys. And we tried not to double pick. I don't think we had a single guy go to multiple
we brought
teams.
multiple names up
Yeah,
And
which is going to happen because they're all going to be around clumped picks. But that's like a good exercise. You're hearing a lot of different guys' names that we're really not going to touch based on like our deep list or whatnot. So this is fun. I like going 3 rounds. It's quick. It's simple.
Yeah, it makes it easier instead of just doing a straight 3-round mock where we'll be here for 2.5 hours. We can just run through these real quick. And
we're touching on every team at some point. So it's everyone's going to have a little mock here to see how your team's going to be drafting for draft season. So
if you're a fan of any of these 8 teams, Atlanta, Tampa, New Orleans, Carolina, Indy,
two of our good friends.
Yeah, Jacksonville, Houston, and Tennessee. Let us know what you thought about your drafts or what picks you would have made instead or whatnot there, or even just in general. If you're just
I don't think I've ever met a Tennessee Titan fan in my life, bro. Like really thinking about that.
I didn't see a Titans
I don't think I met a Tennessee Titans fan a day in my life.
New jerseys are nice though.
Oh, I like them.
Out if you haven't seen
them. I like them.
They're asserting dominance over the Houston Oilers.
Hey, I really liked Eddie George growing up, so shout out Eddie George.
Steve McNair also legend. R.I.P.
Legend. King. For sure. Yeah. Had both the jerseys. Let's go.
And while you're at it, if you're commenting anything about the draft picks, like, rate, subscribe, review, all the good stuff. Help grow the channel is the easiest and cheapest way to help support the show, and we appreciate it. So we will catch you guys on Thursday with the Couch Scouts. We'll do running backs, tight ends, and then next week we'll hit you up with some more mock drafts and another Couch Scout episode. For today, I'm Theo. This is the Drafted Up Podcast. We love you guys. Stay safe out there. Adios.
Bye.